And now we're going to talk a little bit about that case. We're learning what was taking place inside the jury room as the 12 men and women failed to decide whether Michael Dunn murdered a black teenager or was trying to protect himself, i.e. self-defense. It's a case that has put the issue of race and self-defense in the spotlight again. Speaking to ABC News this morning, juror number 4 said that while she believes Dunn got away with murder, 3 jurors did not agree. And she added that despite this being such a highly charged case with a clear racial aspect, the jury made a decision to not consider race as part of the evidence at all.
For a lot of folk in America, they would say, white man shoots and kills a 17-year-old black boy. How could it not be about race on some level?
Sitting in that room, it was never presented that way. We looked at it as a bad situation where teenagers were together and words were spoken and lines were crossed.
Natalie Jackson is defense attorney and CNN legal analyst. She also, of course, was involved with the Trayvon Martin defense. And Danny Cevallos is a CNN legal analyst, both out front. Okay, great to have both of you with us. Let me start with you, Natalie. When you hear what the jurors said, they made a decision not to consider race. I mean, I'm sure they believed that. I'm not trying to say anybody lied. But do you think that's possible, that they could remove race from their analysis of what happened that night?
I think that they can not talk about it, but I don't think that it was removed. That's what happened in both of these cases that we've seen recently. In the other case, the Trayvon Martin case, and this case, is that everyone said that they were not going to talk about race, but it was in the room. And when it's in the room, what happens is that the race is there, and by not confronting it, it just lingers and it forms your opinions. It's a part of your opinions.
I mean, Danny, do you agree? Because it seems that happens a lot of times. People want to act like it doesn't matter, it's not going to influence my decision. And yet, it so often does, and it might have in this case.
Yeah, I'm going to listen. Race is an issue in the justice system, but this case, the Dunn case, is not a parable for that truth. When it comes to a jury in a deliberation room, if you have a race agenda, the last place you're going to advance that is in a room full of 12 strangers with the whole world watching. I think it's clear. This jury got hung up, and by jury, I mean just 3 jurors. The rest of the jury got it right. They got hung up on the definition of self-defense. And sometimes you just can't stop a deadlocked jury. That doesn't have to do with race. Overall, the jury got it right. It was 2 or 3 jurors that just deadlocked, and you can't help that.
So, Danny, what about this, though? When you talk about how they deadlocked and they were going to take race out of the table, I just have to play this because I know, a lot of the viewers may not have heard this. The jailhouse phone call between Dunn and his fiancée when he was first arrested. He talked about the black teens in the car that night, and here's what he said.
She found some YouTube videos of these guys, and they're all gangster rappers. Because when the police said that these guys didn't have a record, I was like, I wonder if they're just flying under the radar.
Right.
Because they were bad.
Is that about race?
Okay, first question was about the jury. Now we're talking about Dunn. Was Dunn a racist? Maybe. But a jury convicted him on almost every single charge and wanted to convict him of murder except for 1, 2, and 3 jurors. So was he a racist? Maybe. We'll never really know. He would say that he was not. But it looks like the justice system, it ran its course.
Natalie, I'm curious, though, because it sounds like, and I don't know, right? But, I mean, you could ask the question, look, given that he said that attitude was, conveyed in that soundbite we just heard, that he would have been more likely to shoot a black teenager than a white teenager. And in that case, how can self-defense hold if he say, now, I don't know, you don't know what he would have done, but if he wouldn't have shot the white kid and he did shoot the black kid,
motive is a part of the legal system. What motivates someone to act? In this case, we had the only person that advanced Dunn's self-defense theory was Dunn, who was impeached on the stand by his own girlfriend. True. So how can you omit the reason and the motive of why he did what he did? And one of the theories is that it was because Jordan Dunn was a black teenager. It's very important, and I think that when a jury considered that, and when the 3 jurors who were on the side of self-defense considered that, it had to play into some part of their psyche, whether they admit it or not.
Danny, what do you think about that? I mean, if he felt more threatened because they were black, and it was self-defense, but only because they were black, is that still self-defense?
Well, probably not. Look, Dunn may have been a racist. Maybe that factored into his shooting. But to say that Dunn's actions, this one man, is representative of some kind of generalized white fear in America of young black males.
We're talking about this case, and we're talking about subjective
candidly, I think that's exactly what people are saying.
No, people are talking about subjective
I agree with you. I agree with
fear.
you that there was no. We agree. We agree. There was no objective fear. Dunn should have been convicted of second-degree murder.
So why was he not? That's why people are wondering.
Because of 3 jurors who were aberrations. We'll never know why they didn't understand the definition of self-defense. We don't know. Maybe they'll tell us. Maybe they'll come out and say it had to do with race. But I seriously doubt they're going to come out and say that it had to do with race.
I agree with you, but that doesn't mean we can't talk about it.
Danny, finish,
had trouble with the definition of self-defense.
Natalie.
Yes.
Go ahead. Sorry, I wanted to give you a chance. You were just talking over each other.
I'm sorry. I was just saying that just because a jury won't talk about it, or those 3 jurors won't talk about why they thought it may have been self-defense, Dunn's irrational fear, which I think is an objective judgment of his fear. But that doesn't mean that America can't talk about it. And I think it's very important. If nothing else comes out of this, we need to wonder, why is the young black man this object of fear?
All right.
And do they risk their lives because of it?
All right. Thank you very much to both of you.